Hi, my name is Trey Condi, and welcome to another YouTube video. So today on my channel, what I'll be doing is relaying how to do photography or edit your pictures to have 5 of yourself in Photoshop. So right now I have 5 of my pictures that I took of myself for a project a couple months ago, and let me just talk about the basics or how I took these pictures. So whenever you're taking pictures like this or of a bunch of yourself, or you want to relay some type of motion inside the picture, you do not want your camera to move at all. So I had to have my camera on a tripod, and I set the ISO around, I think, 6400 because it was kind of dark in the room. And then the shutter speed was actually really slow, and I had a timer on to kind of set up the scene and everything before I took the picture myself. So I would go back and forth, look at the pictures and stuff, and make sure that they were okay. So another thing you want to make sure is that you don't move the camera or the tripod at all when you're doing this. You kind of see in my picture that I'll show you right in a few minutes that I kind of moved it just a little bit sometimes on accident, just by bumping into like the thing it was standing on, and it kind of messed up the picture in a way. I can edit it enough to whereas I know what I'm doing and I know how to make it to where it's not really that bad, but it's still a good way to show you how to kind of work around that kind of flaw in your picture or in your pictures. So once we have our pictures, we're going to open up Photoshop, which I already have open, and these are just this is just one of the this is the end result. And okay, this is the end result right here. This is what it's going to look like when we're done with the whole thing. And yeah, as you can see right here, if you're really looking hard, it kind of doesn't blend in really, but I edited it to kind of to where you couldn't see it because it was originally right up here and now it's down here, so that way it's easier, it's better, and you're not really looking at that little kind of area. So yeah, we're going to close this and just create a new project. Now once you have your project open, you're going to drag your clips onto, or your pictures onto Photoshop, and we're going to wait for that to load. Okay, it's in Raw Developer right now. Just go through and click OK because I don't really need Raw Developer. So we're going to go through and let's see, adjust this to be the height and width. Okay, another thing is, in my last video when I was talking about your picture being kind of grainy, and the higher the ISO you go, you want to kind of stay at a lower ISO. And I talked about the noise in the background. If you look really closely, you can see that there's a lot of noise, and that static stuff is because I used a high ISO and couldn't really retrieve all those vibrant colors in the room. So this is just a great example of how a higher ISO takes away the colors in a picture and makes it all static and noisy and stuff, and you really don't want that in your pictures. Okay, so I uploaded a bunch of pictures onto Photoshop, so it's not really going well. So what you're going to want to do is use this as your foreground, as your base picture, and you're going to want to add a working box to every other picture that you then start to edit. So the working box is this little camera type thing. It's a square box with a circle in the middle of it at the bottom of your screen right here, and your tabs and stuff right here. So you're not gonna do a working box for this particular picture, the first one. I'll just open them up like this. So I used this one first. Okay, so now I'm going to edit the one that corresponds with it. So I don't want them all, I just want one of them. Okay, so this is the one that corresponds with this image. Put it in Raw Developer. Don't really need it in Raw Developer, but okay. So now we're going to do the same thing we did with the previous one. We're going to line it up and then just kind of resize it. If you didn't say that really. And then we're going to place it, and hopefully that's in the right place. So now we're going to add a working box, click that, and then we're going to go to the paintbrush tool over here. We're gonna click that, and then we're going to go down here to, I think it's the white one, and then, no it's not, it's actually the black one, okay. I always get confused with this one. So you're going to come through here, and you're going to just edit this around and make it, I can use a bigger brush size actually, size 92. Okay, so we're going to just fill in the bottom layer. So as you can see, there's kind of a little bit of a camera shift in this part, and you can also erase your person and then fill them back in, which is what I usually do sometimes. I erase the person fully and then fill them back in, kind of give that first picture all the credit or all the work and stuff in the picture. So, okay, as you can see on this picture, for some reason, on all the pictures, the lighting turned out different for some reason. And let's make sure we got everything. You want to also make sure you got everything by checking this little black box right here. So then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it back to white, which is our layer that we are on. I'm just going to fill the head area back in and fill the person back in. And you want to be you want to make sure that you're not losing anything from the first picture. See, like, it's kind of bright right here in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the black and white. I'm going to go to my navigator, and I'm going to slide in. And if you don't have this navigator tool open up at first, what you can do is go to Window, oopsies. You can go to Window, and then, let's see, Navigator right here. So I'm gonna go through there and then come down here to where the little shift is happening, and then I'm going to change my brush size back down to about 30-ish, or just a lower size. I'm going to get in here and change it back to the original layer without trying to lose too much of the second image. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going around and fixing it. Okay. So after you're done with that, you can really just start to look at it, make sure everything's in the correct place that you want it to be. And yeah, we're done with the first image. So next, what you want to do is you want to do the same process basically over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I was going to speed it up, but I'm just going to play through it so you guys can see the little errors and stuff that I made when I was taking the pictures. So this picture right here has an error in it. It has, oopsies, hold up, raw developer, okay. It has too much camera shift in it, and shift it over, keep on the line, and then bring it up, and then bring it down, and then place it. So it has too much camera shift, and you'll see what I'm talking about after I get it done. I get it in. Is this the right picture? Yeah, that's the right picture. Okay, you have to make sure that's the right picture and stuff. And I have my picture that I edited on my wall right here. So next, what you're going to want to do is, okay, where's my? Okay, there it is. All right, so you place it down. You get your working box, click the working box, and then you want to start going back into the black. So paintbrush, and then bring it up. So for this one, I don't think I'm going to, actually I have to, yeah. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a few seconds. So after you've done the working box, you can kind of see, and you'll see what I'm talking about the camera shift. So like right here and stuff, that shifts completely, and everything goes back to where it was shifted from. And then, okay. You just want to go through that, make sure everything is back, and Okay, so as you can see, there's a little bit of a camera shift in this area. There's helmet shifts and everything. So what I did was, if I can remember, I edited around this. It took me a while. It's gonna take me a while again because I have to get it perfectly. But you kind of just try to fill everything in without losing anything crucial. And by crucial, I mean anything that's going to make the picture look like it's not real. So now I'm going to go into the navigator and I'm going to speed this process up so you don't have to watch really the slow motion of everything going down. So yeah, I'll start the video back up when I finish editing this. All right, so that took a lot longer than I hoped, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. It kind of looks deformed-ish. Again, the original one that I did is kind of better, but this is just for a video, and it's good enough to where as you can see what happens when you have a camera mess up and you move the camera on accident in your picture. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add another our next picture. So our next picture is the one that corresponds with the one we just edited, and this one also has a little bit of problems with it. So we're going to open the image and from the developer, and then put it right here, and then it didn't. Can't I just oopsies. So oopsies. No. All right, so we're just going to redo that completely. So we're going to drag it onto this part, reopen it in the raw developer, and then open it in Photoshop. Okay, and now we're going to hit Shift, grab our clip, drag it over, line it up, and expand. And you can already see a camera shift in this part too. So yeah, this is gonna be fun as well. This one also has a camera shift, as you can see if you look like this, you can see the shift kind of, but it's whatever, we'll get it done. So now we're going to do the same thing as we've been doing working box, and we're going to, and the reason why we use the working box is so that when we're editing the picture, we're not editing on the picture, because when you edit on the picture, it's kind of hard to retrieve what you already lost or have gotten rid of. But when you're doing it in a working box, it doesn't affect the picture at all. It just affects it's a kind of hypothetical of what's going on in the picture. So whenever you're editing your photos, you always want to use a working box, just so you don't mess up the picture and can't retrieve anything, basically, or that you can't retrieve that original color or picture or something that you had in it and stuff. So next we're going to do the same thing. We're going to widen this back out and then edit this, go back to black, and voila. So when you address the camera shift the first time, you can kind of fix it afterwards. And what I mean by that is it kind of fixes it, or makes it easier to do other pictures afterwards, but it's still a pain. And if you just try to keep your scene as non-movable camera whatever at all. If you try not to move your camera at all in your photo shoot, then you should be fine. And I can see right here that I need to fix the sock and the foot, so I'll go back to that later. Layer. So when you are, I do that right now actually. So when you are working in Photoshop and you see that you messed something up on a previous layer, what you want to do to fix that thing, there's something in this area that I'm not getting. Okay, I got that. There's something going. All right, what you want to do is you want to go back to that layer and then hit the working box again. And then you want to go in or scroll in. I'll use my navigator again. And you want to just fix it right there, and then you can fix it on the other layer. So what I'm going to do is hit the white one, size down to about, let's say 7, yeah, 7. Keep it low. And then you're just going to fill what you missed back in, or what you lost. Okay, I don't know where the sock ends. Okay, it ends right there. Okay, so now we're just going to okay, and yeah, so that's fixed now. We brought it out. Just going to go back and put back the stuff that we took out of the original, of the base layer, and it should be good. I want to make sure. Did I? Okay. The colors on the bed weren't fixed, so I mean that doesn't really matter that much because you're not really paying attention to the colors on the bed. But so yeah, now we're back. Then you go back here, and you see a tray comes back over to where on the new working box it transfers over. So now we're going to edit that guy, or myself again, back in, and we're just going to work around the kind of camera shifts that we have. So I'm going to do this and just try to bring me back in as much as possible without losing much of me. So this happens too, yeah. So what I did for this part was I kind of just put my hand under, kind of, to make it like it was underlapped, or like the leg was overlapping the hand. So you can, okay, so we're gonna do this and drop it down some more. Okay, so I just made it like my hand was being covered up by the foot, and that like that. Yep. We're gonna bring this back. And okay, let's make sure that that is all. And actually, I think what I can do is I can just, no, I'll keep it to where I keep it on the base layer. Okay, I was going to edit that some more and kind of blend it in, but I'll just keep it to where everything's on the base layer, so that way you guys can understand what I'm doing. So now I'm just going to go ahead and edit the fingers in and keep that overlap still there, so the way you can only see one hand, the other one is behind him, which is kind of something that I thought about on the fly because I couldn't really understand, or at the time I didn't really know how to fix that kind of thing. So I just said I'm just gonna overlap it, and it kind of worked out better than trying to do something else that was more fancy, I guess. So now we're just going to fill in the spaces that are not the original picture, and then I'll go back in and edit this, and I'll skip ahead, I'll fast forward so that you guys don't have to watch this long process. So yeah, I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, so that part's done. That's at 40. Okay, so that part's done. And yeah, we're just gonna go into the next part. This is a long process, and I know, but you just gotta do it to get it done. So next we're going to add, we've done this, we haven't done this one yet, and we haven't done this one yet, and we've done all of these. Okay, so all of these are done, and now we're just doing these two. So next I'm going to add this one. I'll save the hardest one for last, just because that's how I roll. And we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Shift and drag it over on the line, and then pull up and pull down, and then hit check. Okay, so same thing over again, working box, and start the process. So I can't remember if there's a lot of camera shift in it. I think it's only the last one. Okay, yes, only the last image. So the last image has a lot of camera shift in it. Hold up. It took me the longest to fix and to edit because of how much shift there was. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I get to it. But it's actually really, really, really difficult, and that's why I'm saving it for last, so that I can get everything else completed and out the way to kind of try to compensate for that big camera shift that happens. And also the chair moves a lot in that scene too, which I shouldn't have moved it, but it happens. So now we're going to edit this guy back in, and I'll come back when that's done. Okay, so finally, after this long process of trying to edit this, we're going to add a last picture. So, as I said it before, the last one has that camera shift in it. And, opening it back up, developer. I won't try to take too long on this one, simply because of how long it took me the last time. It took me about a class period or two just to get it correct. But I still want to, yeah, you see that's not good, that camera shift right there, but it's alright. Really, when you're editing these pictures, it all really stems from having a good starting layer or starting image. And what I mean by that is having a good image that doesn't have a lot of camera shift in it, or just has good lighting and stuff in it too. So that's why I chose the image with me squatting first, because it's kind of, when I was editing, I didn't use that one first, and I kind of regretted it afterwards because it kind of had the best lighting and had no camera shift in it, whereas every other picture had slight camera shift in it. So, and since it was kind of my first image that I took. So, yeah, you can see that shift there, which is just horrible, and I wish I could fix it more or redo that whole entire thing, but I can't. So, yeah, I'll edit this and come back when I'm done so you guys don't have to listen to me talk about nothing for about 15 minutes or however long it's going to take. So yeah, I'll see you back, guys, when I'm done. All right, so yeah, there we go. There is the finished edit of it. Now what I can do is I can just add some like curves and try to make it a little bit more vibrant, which is what I did on my original piece. And yeah, now it's done. Thank you so much for staying and watching this entire video. I know it's long, but I just wanted to show you how to do this if you're interested in something like this. If you if you saw it on something like Instagram or Twitter or any social media platform that you have an account on, that you look at pictures and stuff on, and you saw this kind of effect and you want to know how to do it, I just wanted to teach you guys how to do that because I've done it and I love this whole project and shooting myself and then editing it, even though it caused me a lot of stress. So yeah, thank you. I hope you love the video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace.